Present day. The room is filled with tension as the team of NASA controllers monitors the progress of the Apollo 11 mission. Controller 1. Apollo 11, this is Mission Control. We're putting you on course for a lunar landing. Suddenly, there is a loud beeping noise on the control panel. Controller 2. Houston, we have a problem. Our navigational aids are misdirecting us. Controller 1. Apollo 11, do you copy? Do you have any indication of a problem? The voice of Neil Armstrong crackles through the speakers. Armstrong. Apollo 11 here, Mission Control. Our navigational systems are now displaying an error. It looks like we're not headed for the moon. Controller 1. Apollo 11, can you confirm your position? Armstrong. Stand by, Mission Control. We're trying to get a fix on our location. There is a tense silence as the controllers wait for the astronauts to report back. Armstrong. Mission Control, we have a confirmed reading. It looks like we've landed on Mars. The room erupts in shocked exclamations. Controller 1. Apollo 11, this is Mission Control. Do you have enough supplies to sustain you until we can mount a rescue mission? Armstrong. Mission Control, we have enough supplies to last us a few weeks, but we'll need to stretch them as far as we can. We're going to have to get creative to survive on this strange planet. The controllers exchange worried glances as they contemplate the challenges that the astronauts will face on Mars. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin are inside the cramped lunar module, looking at their limited supplies. Armstrong. How could this have happened? We were supposed to be landing on the moon. Aldrin. We don't know how it happened, but what's important now is figuring out how we're going to survive here. Armstrong. You're right. We need to conserve our supplies and find a way to communicate with Mission Control. Suddenly, the radio starts to crackle. Controller 1. Apollo 11, this is Mission Control. We're doing everything we can to mount a rescue mission, but it's going to take time. Can you give us a full assessment of your situation? Armstrong. Mission Control, this is Apollo 11. We have enough supplies to last us a few weeks, but we're going to have to stretch them as far as we can. The good news is that we seem to be in a relatively stable area with a breathable atmosphere. Controller 1. Understood, Apollo 11. We'll work on a plan to get you home as soon as possible. In the meantime, try to make the most of your time on Mars. Armstrong. Will do, Mission Control. We'll keep you updated on our situation. Apollo 11 out. Armstrong and Aldrin look at each other, then begin to unpack their supplies and make a plan for surviving on Mars. Several days pass as Armstrong and Aldrin work to establish a routine on the unfamiliar planet. They set up a makeshift shelter and begin to explore their surroundings. One day, as they are out on a recon expedition, they come across a strange structure. It appears to be a dome-like building, made of a material that they have never seen before. Armstrong. Buzz, look at this. It looks like some kind of alien structure. Aldrin. Do you think it's safe to go inside? Armstrong. I think we have to. We might find some clues about who built this place, and maybe even a way to get back home. The two astronauts cautiously approach the structure and find a way inside. What they find is beyond their wildest imagination, a thriving alien civilization, unlike anything they have ever seen before. The aliens, who are humanoid in appearance, greet the astronauts with curiosity and offer to help them in any way they can. Armstrong and Aldrin are shocked but grateful for the unexpected assistance. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin are being led through the alien dome by their host, who introduce themselves as the Martians. The Martians are humanoid in appearance, with pale skin and large, almond-shaped eyes. As they walk, the Martian explains to the astronauts about their society and culture. They tell them that they have lived on Mars for millennia, building a civilization that is based on cooperation and sustainability. The Martian shows the astronauts their advanced system of renewable energy, which powers their entire society. They also demonstrate their advanced transportation systems, which use zero-emission vehicles to travel around the planet. Armstrong. This is extraordinary. Despite your society being so advanced, you have been able to preserve the ecosystem of Mars. Martian. Yes, living in harmony with our planet is crucial to us. We believe that all beings have the right to live in a healthy, sustainable environment. Aldrin. How have you guys managed to achieve all of this? Martian. We have always been a society that values knowledge and learning. We have spent centuries studying the universe and developing our technology. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin are sitting with the Martians, listening intently as they explain more about their society. Martian. There is something else I must tell you, humans. Our scientists have been going on secret missions to your planet for many years, studying your species and learning about your culture. Armstrong. You've been to Earth? Why didn't you make contact with us? Martian. We wanted to, but we were afraid of how your society would react to the news that we exist. We were worried about causing fear and chaos. Aldrin. I can understand that. The idea of alien life can be intimidating. Martian. But then, something unexpected happened. Your spacecraft, Apollo 11, strayed off course and landed on our planet. We saw it as a sign, a chance for our two societies to finally make contact and learn from each other. Armstrong. And now that we're here, what do you hope to accomplish? Martian 2. Well, there is something that we have not told you. The truth is, our society has been facing a crisis. Our planet is running out of resources and we have been struggling to find a solution. Martian. We had hoped that by studying your society, we could find a way to solve our problems. But then, we stumbled upon something even more valuable. Aldrin. What do you mean? Martian. Your bodies, humans. They are stronger and more resilient than ours. We believe that by using your DNA, we can enhance our own bodies and solve our resource crisis. Armstrong. You can't be serious. You can't just use us for your own gain like that. Martian. We are desperate humans. We will do whatever it takes to save our society. The astronauts are shocked and disgusted by the Martians' revelation. They can't believe that they have been betrayed like this, after all, that they have learned from the Martians and their culture. Aldrin. We won't let you do this. We'll find a way to stop you, even if it means sacrificing ourselves. Martian. We had hoped it wouldn't come to this. But we are willing to do whatever it takes. Armstrong. I believe you have grossly underestimated our ability. Martian. Hee, we'll see how that goes. You, humans, are sure a pathetic, divided, and irrational species. You are completely powerless in your own hands. Aldrin. Wait a minute, our landing on Mars wasn't a coincidence, was it? Martian. No, it wasn't. We intentionally brought you here. Armstrong. You intentionally brought us here? How? Martian. We have the technology to manipulate the trajectory of space vessels. We monitored your spacecraft and guided it toward our planet. Aldrin. You manipulated our spacecraft and put our lives at risk. Martian. It had to be done. We spotted an opportunity and seized it. In advance of the limited time frame. Armstrong. You endangered our lives for your personal gain? Martian. Earthlings, we have no time for pleasantries. Our planet is facing a dire resource crisis, and we have decided to take what we need from your planet. Aldrin and Armstrong are sitting with the Martian, wondering if the blue-skinned aliens who were reported to have been spotted in Mexico that went viral on the internet were related to them. I remember seeing something on the internet, an image of blue-skinned aliens. Did you see that? Martian. No, we have no internet here. It is part of why you humans are pathetic. We want nothing to do with that. Armstrong. We describe them as being around 7 foot tall with bright blue skin and large black eyes. Martian. Hold a second, I suspect I know this species you're referring to. They are the Kaltorans from dimension 678. Aldrin. So they are real? Martian. Yes, they exist. They are much more accomplished than we are, and are very dangerous creatures. Armstrong. There are other species out there? Martian. Yes, there are unimaginably more dimensions than we can count. With various species of alien. Aldrin. What kind of motives might they have for us? Martian. I can't say for sure, but I advise you to tread cautiously and be ready for anything. One thing I can assure you of is that you should be terrified of them. Suddenly, the Martian receives a message. Martian. I'm sorry, but I have to go. A pressing matter requires my attention. Armstrong. What's going on? Martian. I can't explain it now, but you must wait here for a few minutes. I'll be back as soon as possible. The Martian quickly leaves, and Armstrong and Aldrin are left alone. They sit in silence for a few minutes, unsure of what to do. As the minutes go by, Armstrong starts to become more and more anxious. Armstrong. Aldrin, we need to find a way out of this planet. Now. Aldrin. What? Why? Armstrong. Don't you see? We have no idea what's going on or what the Martians or Kaltorans are planning. Returning to Earth will allow us to alert NASA and other authorities of the impending danger. Aldrin. You're right. We need to leave and warn our planet. Armstrong. Exactly. As fast as possible and find a way back home. Aldrin. All right, but we have to figure out how to get off this planet and back to Earth. Armstrong. If we steal one of their spacecraft, it'll give us a better chance of making it back to Earth in one piece. Aldrin. That's a great idea. Let's do it. The two astronauts quickly put Armstrong's plan into action and successfully take control of one of the Martian spacecraft. With Aldrin at the controls, but their problems are far from over, as they soon discover that the Martians were aware of their intentions and were not going to let them leave without a fight. Armstrong. Aldrin, we've got company. The Martians have sent a pursuit team after us. Aldrin. Don't be worried, I've got this. They make a daring escape, dodging blaster fire and evading their pursuers. Aldrin expertly maneuvers through the asteroid belt surrounding the planet, using the asteroids as cover from the Martians' blaster fire. Armstrong helps him navigate, working together to outsmart the Martians. At one point, a Martian ship gets too close for comfort, but Aldrin makes a sharp turn, causing the Martian ship to crash into an asteroid. Aldrin. Hold on, we're almost clear. As they leave the asteroid belt behind and enter open space, the Martian ships begin to fall further and further behind. But just as they think they've made a clean escape, a group of Martian ships appears on the horizon, closing in fast. Armstrong. Aldrin, they're closing in. What are we going to do? Aldrin. Don't worry, I've got an idea. With a determined look on his face, Aldrin activates the stolen Martian spacecraft's cloaking device, rendering them invisible to the Martian sensors. The pursuing ships fly past them, unable to see the escapees. Armstrong. I can't believe it. You did it, Aldrin. Aldrin sets a course for Earth, and the two astronauts enjoy a long and peaceful trip back home. They land in a remote area, where they are quickly picked up by NASA officials. Int. NASA Facility Day. Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin are debriefed by NASA officials, sharing everything they learned about the Martians and the Kaltorans. They detail the resources crisis the Martians were facing and the Kaltorans' potential interest in Earth. NASA official. This information is priceless. We'll make sure to contact the right parties and take the required safety measures. Aldrin. We must move quickly because the Martians and Kaltorans are highly developed and dangerous. We cannot take any chances. NASA official. Don't panic. We will do everything we can to protect Earth and its inhabitants. Armstrong. We are just happy we could help. The astronauts are given a hero's welcome as they become known as the first humans to make contact with an alien race. They are hailed as pioneers, and their story becomes a part of history.